Hello and welcome to Savvy Gadgets with me, Ian. If you saw a previous video where my main gaming rig brought the farm, you may recognise the innards from that rig currently sitting on my desk. Now, because it died, I did try some basic tinkering and nothing brought it back to life. So I approached Gigabyte, I put in a request, and I wasn't expecting them to come back, but they did. And the first thing they came back with was the generalised, have you done this, have you done that? So I tried their methods of basically resetting the CMOS and doing this, that and the other, and none of that worked. So I replied, gave them some pictures of the error codes and of the setup and in general. And then they came back to me again to give me some new advice. And so we're going to try that new advice, which starts off with method 1. Shut off your computer. Hold the power button until your computer starts and shuts down again. Press the power button again. Your backup BIOS should kick in. So let's turn it on. And because I don't have a case connected to it, it does actually have buttons on. So we're going to press and hold this. Spins up. Spins down. And according to this, if I turn it back on, the main BIOS is corrupted. Oh, there you go, look at this. Turn off the power, reset the settings, may take a few, but updating the BIOS. My God, there may be life in this old rig yet. Well. I wasn't expecting any of these methods to work, but that is amazing. Right, so if that hadn't have worked, the second method would have been to shut your computer off, hold the power and the reset button for about 10 seconds, then release, and it should boot into the backup BIOS now. But it already appears to be doing that. And if that failed, then this was the last resort. And this was the bit that I was really sort of like feeling a bit dodgy about, let's face it. It says, for the first instructions, short out pins 1 and 6 on the main BIOS chip by attaching a jumper to both pins. Pin 1 should be marked with a red dot or whatever. Tell a friend to press the power button while he'll electrocute you, apparently, on the power button while you do this, because right now you're holding the jumper on the pins. So basically they're saying get a paper clip, bend it into position, and then get someone to turn the computer on. Remove the jumper you're holding between ones and pins. As soon as you hear a beep, there's no speaker. So I'm quite glad the first one worked, to be honest. So we're almost there. Will it actually boot up, or will that be the end of it? That's further than it's got ever. That would have been really interesting in the Sage Council a month ago. I don't actually have okay, the BIOS has been reset. Please decide how to continue. Well, first thing I need to do is actually put a keyboard in it, because I don't actually have a keyboard in it. Well, I think we can shut that down for the time being. Get that out of the way. Now, I do have a keyboard here, I do have a mouse, I will unplug them from the computer. Bear with me. Load optimised defaults, then reboot. Maybe that's the best way to do it. I could enter the BIOS, but let's do that. Load optimised defaults and reboot, see whether that actually has any effect. Okay, that's good. That didn't happen before. Oh, wow. Or insert boot media. It actually is doing something. Okay. Looks like I need to plug in a hard drive. I'll see if I got one. I don't think I do. It's a couple of days later, and as you can see, it's still up and running, still working. And what I've been doing is I've been running some tests on the system to make sure that it is still working appropriately. Now, one of the side effects of reflashing your main BIOS from the backup BIOS is it reverted back to its original factory shipped version. So the first thing I had to do was reinstall the new version of the BIOS. So that was then up to date. I then downloaded the Intel Processor Diagnostic tool, and that ran through its tests and everything passed fine. So I'm confident that the motherboard is communicating with the CPU absolutely fine, and the CPU is working appropriately. I also downloaded and ran Memtest86. Now, Memtest86 has been around for a long time, but obviously it's improved over years and years, and it's always been a reliable piece of software to test your memory with. So after running that, there was absolutely no problems with that. So once again, some timely advice from Gigabyte on how to resurrect my PC. I have no idea that you could do that, so it's a new feather in my cap, or string in the old bow, and if it happens again, I'll know what to do, and so now you do as well. So this was all part of a grand plan anyway. I was just forced into it sooner because the BIOS decided to become corrupt for whatever reason. Now, the original plan was to put some new hard drives in my old rig, and then with the old graphics card, this KFA GTX 680, which I originally brought with all of this back in 2012, was going to go to my daughter. She has an old Q9650 running in a really tiny case, and that's another project which we'll do after this. But because I was forced into it early and I've had to upgrade all of my parts, or at least the PSU, the motherboard and processor and memory, I just need to buy a new case to stick all of that in. So that makes life a little bit easier. So yeah, it's a kind of a bittersweet victory because I've had to buy new parts sooner than I anticipated, but at the end of the day, I've got a nice, sweet new, fast running PC that's more up to date than it used to be, and my daughter is going to get the PC that she wanted in the end anyway. So, fantastic. We'll be taking a look at her PC once we've got this up and running. We've got a case in mind. We're going to go and buy that in the next couple of days, so there will be a build video coming. Now, don't forget to check out our Facebook page, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be careful, stay home, avoid taking unnecessary risks whilst we're still under the pandemic, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, bye bye.